All right, as we've gotten some new information and we're finding out that the year is winding down, I wanted to just be really clear and communicate with you all about how we're going to finish things up this year, and so that you know exactly what's going to be happening these next couple weeks as we move forward. When we left school, we thought we'd be seeing each other the following week, and then of course everything got turned upside down. We were about 1 week into our evolution unit, and we were just getting ready to start the brine shrimp lab. And when I heard we were going to be home from school, again, originally that was only going to be a couple of weeks. So we put a pause in that. We moved on to Unit 8, ecology. And, I have been covering the main ideas, the main highlights of ecology, but we skipped some stuff. Obviously, I had to skip labs. Also skipped, there is some math that goes with ecology, which I wasn't about to try to teach you guys digitally, and some kind of more detaily things that we just didn't even cover. And of course, I was hoping to be able to go back, and I was hoping that we were all going to be able to be coming back to school together, and that we'd be able to go back to Unit 7, or at least be able to do some of these fun labs here at the end of the year. But last week with the governor extending the stay at home, and then hearing that now school is officially done by May 15th, that leaves us 3 more weeks of school. And so we're not really going to be able to go back and finish up Unit 7, and like prepare for the AP exam and do all those things. We're not going to really be able to do that. And so we're just going to we're not doing any more evolution. And you all might not really care. You're probably like, great. I'm really bummed though, because I think that some of that stuff on evolution is stuff that ends up being really interesting. It ends up being very useful to know about and learn about. And I wish we could do it together, but doing it digitally or trying to shove it all into 1 week is just not doing it justice. So we're just not going to. It's not on the AP exam either. So you know what? Oh well, you all will survive, but I'm a little bit bummed that we can't do that together. So what are we going to do these last 3 weeks of school? We're going to review for the AP test, and we are going to do a small final exam. We have been told that teachers are supposed to do some kind of final or some kind of project or some kind of accumulating event in our class. Here's what I don't want. I don't want to design something that's a whole pile of busy work for you to do that's taking away from your time for reviewing for the AP exam. So your final is going to be designed that will just cover units 1 through 6, because that's what's on your AP test. And it's basically going to be, if you prepare for this final, it's essentially like studying for the AP exam. And so you should be pretty set. I don't exactly know when it's going to be. I know it's going to be sometime during that last week of school, May 11th through 15th. But I think, how like with finals week, they've got, certain classes having certain finals on different days so that you don't have like 75 finals on one day. I think similarly, they don't want all of these projects or finals, quote unquote finals, to be happening on the same day for people. So, we're going to try to spread things out. And so I'm not exactly sure which day it will happen on. What will the final look like? I'm guessing it's going to be multiple choice. It's not going to be terribly long, but there'll be a couple questions per unit type thing. There's only 6 units. So, maybe it's 30 questions. 30 divided by 6 is what, 5? So maybe 5 questions per unit type of thing. I'm guessing it'll be something like that, kind of like your first semester final, in which it was kind of a more general review of what we had covered. And so this way you've at least reminded yourself, like, oh gosh, how does photosynthesis work again? And, oh, let's review mitosis and meiosis and that kind of stuff, right? The stuff that you might be more fuzzy on. I will let you know exactly how this is going to work once I figure it out, like how you're going to be taking it. I'm thinking about using PowerSchool Learning, but as we saw this week, it wasn't completely without bumps. In the middle of your quest, several of you emailed me being like, pictures, there's 2 pictures that aren't showing up for me, so I don't know how to answer those questions. And I'm like, what? And I'm pulling it up, and they're showing up on mine. And then, of course, I get an email like 5 minutes later from the company that owns PowerSchool Learning, and they're like, we're having some issues displaying some images. Sorry, we're working on it. And I'm like, great. So, that's not ideal. We certainly wouldn't want pictures not to show up for you all. But anyway, I will figure out exactly what it's going to look like. But the idea would be that it's not going to be something extra and on top of reviewing for the AP exam. It is going to help you review for the AP exam. So I will let you know more on that as far as the date and the actual like format. But most likely it's just going to be multiple choice because we're going to get lots of essay practice in the next couple weeks. Okay. So as far as the AP exam, if you haven't heard, it's Monday, May 18th now from 1 to 1:45. It's all going to be digital. So you're going to be like logging on to the College Board website and submitting your answers through there. And it's only going to be 2 FRQ questions. The first FRQ question, you're going to have 25 minutes. Like once you open it, you've got, and it starts at 1. So at 1 o'clock, boom, question 1 opens. You'll have 25 minutes to read and come up with your response, and you'll have a 5-minute window to upload your answer, okay? This question is all going to be about experimental design. It could have a graph or a chart or some kind of table you're analyzing, or you might have to create the graph yourself. You're going to have to analyze data, make predictions, something like that. It's going to be 65% of your exam score. So here's an example question of one you've seen this year that would fall into this type of category. You might have a hazy memory of this question on one of your exams. It might have even been the first test where we were doing graphing and standard deviation and stuff, but I gave you this test question about like bees and memory and nectar and caffeine's effects. And so there was this, table and paragraphs about bees and nectar, and then you were asked to make a graph, you were asked to describe the results, you were asked to design an experiment and propose some benefits and some costs. And if you want to, you could even pause this video, go back, rewind it, and even try this question now on your own and see how you do. But this is an example of the type of question you would get for question 1. You'd have to be able to do this in 25 minutes, okay? And then for FRQ 2, this is going to be 15 minutes where you get to read and respond and 5 minutes to upload. This is going to be more focused on a specific concept. You're going to have to explain it, support it with claims and evidence. This is going to be 35% of your exam score. Now, what concept is it going to be? Nobody knows, but something from units 1 through 6. Here's an example from earlier this year of a similar style question to what you could get. You might remember this from your unit 6 test, I believe, right? And so this is like testing a specific type of concept, slightly shorter, slightly less involved, which is why you get 10 minutes less to do this type of question. But this is similar along the lines of something that you might expect for question 2. Now, obviously, you're not going to get either of these questions because they've already been AP questions, okay? But that gives you a rough idea of it. We're going to be you're going to get several chances to practice questions like this and questions like question 1. We're going to be doing those over the next couple weeks. So you are going to get more practice with this. Okay. And so here's what the rest of the year looks like. Next week, you're going to work on that group AP review assignment, and I'm going to give you some practice FRQs to do. The following week, I'm going to take your assignment and I'm going to make it into a big, huge AP review thing. And you're going to work your way through that, and you're going to do some more practice FRQs. May 11th through 15th, going to do a couple more practice FRQs, and you're going to take your final exam. And then May 18th is your exam at 1 p.m. So that is how we're going to finish things out this year. It's kind of weird not being able to come back all together, but we got to do the best with what we've got because we don't really have any choice, right? So hopefully this gives you a better idea of where we're going in the next couple weeks so that you can kind of mentally plan for what's coming at you and finish the year nice and strong.